Good morning. My name is Evan Harrison, and today we're going to do an upper quarter screen. We're doing this upper quarter screen because Tyler was complaining about how he's having some numbness and tingling, and it's starting from his upper back and is going down towards his wrist. So let's do this upper quarter screen. All right, so this upper quarter screen, Tyler, is going to give me a ballpark idea of one, is it nerve related or not? Two, if it is nerve related, is it going to be in your spinal nerve root, or is it going to be related to something with your brain slash spinal cord itself? And if it is a spinal nerve root, it's going to give me a ballpark idea of which one it is, okay? All right, so first, when you do the upper quarter screen, is you want to check the person's posture. So Tyler, I don't detect any scoliosis, lordosis, or kyphosis with him. So the next part of the screen is I'm going to put you in a couple of positions to see if this recreates any of your symptoms, okay? All right, so the first one that I want you to do is I want you to slouch over like you're leaning towards the floor. Now I want you to bring your head up and I want you to look at that TV screen for me. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, the next one I want you to do is I want you to look up towards the ceiling. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Okay, if it were, I would not apply overpressure with Tyler for those tests. So now we're going to do the overpressure test. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you to get in a certain position. You'll do it, and then with your permission, I'm going to apply a little bit more pressure to see if that recreates any of your symptoms. Yes. All right, great. So the first one that I want you to do is I want you to look down towards the ground for me. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, the next one that I'm going to have you do is look up towards the ceiling. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to bring your left ear towards your left shoulder for me. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? Nope. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, the next one that I'm going to have you do is bring your right ear towards your right shoulder for me. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? Nope. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, the next one that I want you to do is I want you to rotate your head towards that wall over there. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, now I want you to look at that whiteboard for me. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, great. So now we're going to do another test. We're going to do kind of the same thing, but I'm going to now do with your shoulders, your elbows, and wrists to see if this recreates any of your symptoms. Okay. If it were, it would kind of give me a ballpark idea that it may be something peripheral nerve related, okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I want you to bring your shoulder up towards the sky for me. Now, when you're doing this, you want to have two hands, one that's going to move and one that's going to stabilize, okay? Does that recreate any of your symptoms? Nope. All right, so my stabilized hand is going to be back towards the scapula back here. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is I want you to bring your arm up like you're doing a jumping jack like this. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is I want you to bring your elbow up like this. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, the next one that I want you to do is I want you to bring your arm back like this. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? Nope. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. Okay, the next one that I want you to do is I want you to bring your wrist up like this for me. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? Nope. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, now I want you to bring your wrist down like this. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, now I want you to bring your palm down towards the ground for me. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? No. Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, now I want you to have your palm up. Does that recreate any of your symptoms? Does this recreate any of your symptoms? No. All right, great. So now we're going to do the next part of the screen, which is a dermatome test. The dermatome test is going to tell me is your sensation working or not, okay? So with your permission, I'm going to complete the test, okay? Okay. So I'm going to ask you, does this feel the same as this? But the only difference is I'm going to have you close your eyes when I tell you to do so, and I'm going to do your shoulders, and I'm going to do your elbows, and I'm going to do your wrists, okay? Okay. All right, close your eyes for me. All right, does this feel the same as this? Yes. All right, when you're doing this, you want to start out with the unaffected side first and then the affected. And the reason why we do that is to give me a ballpark idea of what it may be when you're comparing one side to the other. The one that I just did was C4. All right, the next one we're going to do is, does this feel the same as this? Yes. That's C5. Does this feel the same as this? Yes. C6. Does this feel the same as this?
Yes.
C7, does this feel the same as this?
Yes.
C8, does this feel the same as this?
Yes.
T1. Great, you can open your eyes now. The next one we're going to do is a myotome test. The myotome test is going to tell me, hey, are your nerves and muscles working together the way they're supposed to? Okay? All right, so the first one that I want you to do is I want you to shrug this right shoulder up like this, and I want you to hold it, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to push your shoulder down. Don't let me do that, okay? All right. Does this recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
All right, so that's C4. Next one that I want you to do is I want you to chicken wing your arm out like this. I want you to hold it for me, okay?
Okay.
Does this recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
All right, that's C5. The next one that we're going to do is C6. The first part of C6's test is I want you to bring your elbow up like this. All right. Does that recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
Hold. Does that recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
All right. Perfect. You actually had your wrist where I want it to be.
Okay.
So now I'm going to try to bring it in. All right. Hold. All right. Does that recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
All right. Great. So that was C6. The next one is C7. Now, I want you to do is I want you to bring your elbow back like this. Okay. And now I'm going to apply it in. Don't let me do that. Okay. Does that recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
All right. Now I want you to bring your wrist up like this. All right. Now I'm going to push it down. All right. Does that recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
All right. So that's C7. C8 is when you're going to curl your fingers like this for me. And I'm going to break your grip, okay? Does that recreate any of your symptoms? All right, C8. Now I want you to spread your fingers out like this. I'm going to try to bring them in, okay? Don't let me do that. Does that recreate any of your symptoms?
No.
All right, so that's T1. All right, great. So we've done that. The next part that we're going to do is the reflex test. What this is going to tell me is your brain working with the reflexes that you're supposed to do? You may have seen this hammer at the doctor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap the part of your tendon, and I'm going to see if I get a reflex out of you, okay? All right, the first one that we're going to do is the biceps tendon. All right, I'm going to palpate the biceps tendon, and this is going to be our C5, okay? All right, I'm able to see a contraction ever so slightly. The next one that we're going to do is the C6/brachioradialis. I want you to have your arm up like this, like you're about to carry like a milk jug for me, okay? And I'm doing the muscle belly itself. All right, I was able to see a reflex there. The next one I want you to do is C7, which is going to be where you're going to have your arm out like this, okay? I want you to hold that for me. And I'm going to palpate the triceps tendon back here. All right, I was able to see it ever so slightly with him. That's great. So the next part we're going to do is a special test. The special test is called the Hoffman's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull your middle finger back, and I'm going to flick it. All right, so since his index finger and his thumb didn't come together, we are good there. And again, we would do the unaffected side first and then the affected. So that is our upper quarter screen test. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.